Alrighty guys, so there we go. There's a quick little review on mean, median, mode, and range. Remember we played the really fun game, try it at home. Let's try and stump the teachers about mean, median, mode, and range. We couldn't do that because we got really smart teachers. Good job teachers, thank y'all. And then we reviewed the posters in the hallways. Guys, pay attention to those posters because here's the deal. We don't want that one question about mean, median, mode, and range to be the difference between passing and failing, between commended and not commended. We want you to get those questions right. And after this video, you better get any question about mean, median, mode, and range. Pay attention to those posters in the hallways. Guys, I want to conclude our video with working through some problems with the same set of data, identifying the mean, median, mode, and range of the same set of data. If we see down the poster, I've got the same set of data 4 times, and I want us to walk through and identify mean, median, mode, and range for data that is going to look similar to what you might see on tags. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty guys, here's the data that we're going to look at for the 4 problems that we're going to work out. Mean, median, mode, and range. We're going to be looking at Dr. Land's grades. Alright guys, I'm not going to lie to you. These really aren't his grades, but this is the type of data you might see on the tax test. Not exactly, but it might be. This is an example of what you might see on the tax test. So if we look at our table, we're going to always start with the table. We see a grade of 100, 90, 80, 70, and 60, and then we see number of grades. So that means there's 3 100s, 4 90s, 2 80s, 2 70s, and 1 60. And those are his grades. This is the data that we're going to work with. So guys, let's start with mean. Alrighty guys, we're going to start with mean. Again, we've got our data. Let's find the mean. Remember, what is the mean of a set of data? That's the average. So we got to figure out how to get the average. Well, I know to get the average, you have to add up all the numbers and then divide by the number of data, the number of numbers that you have. So let's start with adding up all of our numbers. So look, I've got 3 100s, I've got 4 90s, 2 80s, 2 70s, and 1 60s. So let's write all that out. I've got 3 100s. All right, Dr. Land's got some pretty good grades here. So add these up. I know that 100 plus 100 plus 100 equals 300. I know 4 90s. I know 9 times 4 is 36. So 9 times 4 is 36. If I add a 0, then I know that's going to be 360. I know 8 plus 8, or 8 times 2 is 16. So I add a 0. There's 160. Then I've got 70 plus 70, 7 plus 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Add a 0, 140. And then we know the 160 is just going to be 60. So let's change colors. Well, let's use a different marker. All right, here's a good one. Okay, so now we've got to add up these numbers here. So 300 plus, so I've got 1,020. So that's my total. Now, am I done? No, I'm not done. I still have to divide. But I got to get, what's my total number of data? My total number of numbers. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got a total of 12 numbers. Or I can look on my data and see there's 3, 4 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know I've got 12. So I'm going to have to take 1,020 and divide that by 12, and that's going to give me my mean. Well, I know, let's see, so it's greater than 10, so I'm going to work with 102. I know 12 times 8 is 96. So if I put 96 down here, put 8 right there. So 102, 96 is going to be, that's going to be 6. Okay, now I drop my 0. 12 goes into 60 5 times perfectly, and looky there, I've got my mean of 85. Next problem. All right, we got mean done. I think that's probably the hardest one, but that's just me. Guys, next one we're going to do is median, okay? All right, now remember, what's the median? Well, the median, remember on a road, if you're driving, that thing in the middle, that's the median. So I know it's the middle number, okay? So, all right, we've got all my numbers. Now, this one's a little bit tricky when you're looking at the data because it isn't just, I've got 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. Well, the middle's right there. It's 80. That's in the middle. Oh, but we have to look at all the numbers. Well, there's 3 100s, there's 4 90s, there's 2 80s. So we have to look at all the data to identify the median. So let's just write out our numbers. Let's make a list of our numbers. And I'm going to go, so here are all my numbers. So the median, to identify the median, I've got to find the middle one. Well, let me show you how I find the median. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to cross off the top. And I'm going to cross off the bottom. So now I'm going to what I'm going to do is work towards the middle. I'm going to work towards the median. Cross out that one, and I cross out that one. Cross out that one, there, there, and there, there, and there. And now, okay, now here, I've got 2 numbers in the middle, and they're the same number. So that makes it kind of easy. So what's my median? My median is 90, okay? But now, let me throw this in here. Here's a little bit trickier of a question. What if my data was different, okay? What if my data was different and my 2 middle numbers were 90 and 80? You see, I don't have just one number. I cross them off because I've got an even number of data. My middle is going to be 2 numbers. So what if my middle numbers were 90 and 80? Well, they're not the same, so I've got to figure out what's the middle of those 2 numbers. Well, that one's pretty easy. We know that the middle is 85. So if my numbers were like that, my median would be 85. Okay? Now, I have seen problems where it looks like this. It looks like the 2 middle numbers are 90 and 89. What's up with that? Well, now we got to find the middle between 89 and 90. Well, what's that? It's going to be 89 and a half, or 89.5 would be the median. Okay? Guys, it's the middle number, or middle, it's the middle number, median. Let's go to the next one. The next one we're going to do is mode. Now, I think this is the one that people forget about the most because median, it sounds like middle, mean. We use averages a lot, so I think that's we can remember that. But mode is the one that I think we forget about the most. And I think it's one of the easier ones to do because it's just the number that is most frequent. Which number is most frequent? Well, guys, we don't even really need to do anything on the board because we got the data right here. I know there's 3 100s, there's 4 90s, there's 2 80s, 2 70s, 160. Guys, which number is most frequent? Well, if we look at 90, there are 4 90s. Are there any other number greater than 4? Any other grades greater than 4? No. So we know that the mode for this set of data is 90 because it's the most frequent. Piece of cake. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's move on, guys. The last thing we're going to talk about is the range. Let's find the range of this data. Now, to find the range, to solve for it, you take the highest number or the greatest number in the data and you subtract the least number. Okay? The least number in the data. So that would be 100 is the greatest number minus 60, which is the lowest number. So 100 minus 60 is going to be 40. Our range is 40. Now, guys, what I want you to be careful with range is, now think about grades. What are our grades? Do our grades go from 60 to 100? No, they go from 0 to 100. So it might be really easy to think, well, the range for his grades are 100 to 0 to 100, so the range would be 100. It is all dependent on the data that is there. Okay? You can't be making up some data. Remember that number line in the poster in the hallways? Remember that red line? Remember the number line that you were measuring it on was longer than that red line. So don't get messed up with thinking that the range is that whole span. The range is only the data that is provided for you. Keep that in mind, guys. Don't miss a question because of that. All right? All right. So we got mean, median, mode, and range. Again, not one of y'all better get an answer wrong on the tax test or I will come find you. Nothing wrong about mean, median, mode, and range. That's going to do it, guys. Hope y'all have a great day.